Hey all, hope you're doing well. Let's talk about a fundamental principle of democracy, shall we? And that is the separation of powers and accountability. Although far from being perfect, we are lucky to be living in Britain, where we have so many checks and balances to ensure power is not abused. When abuse is discovered, we generally have the ability to do something about it. There are times, however, when this is easier said than done. We do not have a written constitution in the UK, and we don't necessarily need one as things stand. In a lot of countries, constitutions have come about after a revolution, which may have been the result of serious abuse of power, and to make a fresh start. Britain have long relied on people's honesty, convention, statutory law and judicial cases to define and offer protection of rights. The three major arms of power are government, judiciary and police. Various checks and balances have been incorporated within each to ensure there is no abuse of power. The government, for instance, has a division between the executive, who is responsible for applying the law, while the legislative branch is responsible for making the law. The public can ultimately decide the fate of the government at election time if they are not happy with how they are running the country. Checks and balances are built into the judiciary, where judges can be disciplined if they get something wrong. And similarly, measurements exist within the police, including making complaints to the Police Complaints Commission. While freedom of information can enable people to access information for certain things, there are many checks and balances to ensure that information is recorded in the first place. As I've said, not perfect here in the UK, but pretty good, as there have been some cases when information has gone amiss when people started looking for it. At the heart of all of these checks and balances is freedom of speech and the freedom of reporting. When checks and balances fail, people are allowed to speak out, demonstrate, and shout at the top of their voices until they are heard. We must work together and educate the future generations about the importance of such values, as life in the UK, the Western world, would not have developed in the way it has without people being able to ask for and sometimes demand change. People have paid heavily to bring us these freedoms, guys, so never compromise.